Hey guys, Angela here from the Joy Heart. I actually have been asked by a few people that I know to potentially put together a bit of a group EFT tapping experience based on the things that are currently being felt a lot within our global situation that's currently unfolding at the moment. So I wanted to put together this quick video, and if you're unfamiliar with this particular technique, it's simply a stress management tool that helps your body on a somatic level, in which we soothe your system down and we invoke a relaxation response. So if there's anything like fear and anxieties and panic, or even depression and sadness from feeling isolated in situations such as this, then we actually can use this tool called EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Technique. And this helps us to become back into a whole way of being and to utilize all of our beautiful brain structures so that we can start to evolve into new solutions that we potentially have around us when we're going through some stressful situations. And so if you would like to know any more about the particular technique itself, I encourage you to look me up at the Joy Heart, either on my website, or you can do a search on my YouTube channel. I've got some basic recipes there on explaining what the particular points are on the body that we actually utilize during this tool. And so we're tapping on parts of our body that cause that biofeedback relaxation response that I was talking about. And so if you do have any other questions or you want to know more, feel free to contact me as well. I do have a tapping community on Facebook that you're quite welcome to ask to join. It's for anybody who is new to tapping, and it's also for anybody who has been tapping for a while but wants to gather some information, gather support, and have the experience of having a supportive community around you. We don't have to do all of this alone. And so this is my way of taking some leadership and being able to be there, doing what I can do from my home to be able to support you to feel better about what may be stirring up inside of you during these challenging times. So I am just going to literally go through the process as we go. So just follow what I do with my hands, where I place them on my body, and repeat after me with what I say. So knowing that this is also a very general tapping, so if you have better language or words that you want to use during this particular exercise, then feel free to plug those in there. I'm literally just going to be going quite broadly, that is based on some of the things that I see and I have been working with my own clients on. And also working on myself, because this affects everybody too. So I've been doing my own work and been doing a lot of work online with clients. So if you do feel like you need some more specific help and support through whatever's going on for you in particular, reach out to me, and we can organize a bit of a chat. So without further ado, we are going to run through some of a tapping experience for you, alrighty? So I want you to think about how you've been feeling when you tune in to the idea of the global situation at the moment. So with things like the coronavirus going on, whether that's something that is scary to you, fearful, or whether it's more about the uncertainty that might unfold as a result of this, or whether it's about the isolation that you might feel if you have had to, quarantine or isolate yourself in any way, shape or form. And the restrictions and the rules that we have in place now, like curfews and, limited travel and things like that as well. So just closing your eyes if you can and just tuning in to where you feel the upset or the irritation or the trigger or the fear of all of that unknown and that uncertainty and the stress that is placed upon your system when you tune into that. And just notice what that feels like for you. And usually we rate it out of 10. So 10 being it's like extremely high, you're extremely triggered, you're extremely fearful, for example, and 0 being that it's not bothering you at all. So I want you to just take a mental note of what it is out of 10 for you. when you think about what's happening in the world and how it's impacting you personally and how it's impacting you when you think about your loved ones as well. And once you've got that number, we're just going to jump straight in. So I want you to just start tapping on the side of your hand with a few of your fingers. And I want you to repeat after me. Even though there's so much going on in the world that feels really scary, and I'm scared for my situation and those that I care about, I choose to give myself permission to recognize that I am safe right here, right now, in this moment. Even though there's part of me that feels stressed about the situation that's going on in the world today. And I have some doubt that we're going to be okay. How is this impacting me financially? How is this impacting my loved ones? How is all of this uncertainty impacting my well-being? I choose to give myself permission to relax as best I can right here, right now. Even though I'm fearful about the uncertainty in the world today, because I don't know what's going to happen. All of these restrictions that are placed upon us now, it's quite scary. What does this mean for our future? All of this stress that I feel in my body when I think about that now. I choose to honor how I'm feeling anyway. So now we're just going to tune in and we're going to go up through the points, so just follow me. And as I said, if you need any further information, please feel free to contact me. So tuning in, all of this fear, all of this stress that I feel in my body. When I think about what's happening all over the world, when I think about the pressure it's putting on us, all the stress that it's putting on us, all of the fear that I feel, I don't know what's going to happen. This impacts me whether I like it or not. This fear of the uncertainty. I'm scared of what might happen. I'm scared I'm going to be affected. I'm scared I'm not going to be able to see my loved ones. And I doubt that I'll be okay. My future is unknown. I don't even know what's going to happen in the next 2 months. What's going to happen with my work, my business? What's going to happen with my money? And I'm angry at those people who are just thinking for themselves, who are taking everything that's left. And what about me? What about our future? What about our families? I'm angry at those that think of themselves. Some people are being really selfish about this. All of this fear that I feel when I think about this global situation. All this fear when I think about this global situation. This uncertainty is overwhelming. We can't be certain of anything. And I see the worst of humanity right now. I'm scared that we won't survive this. I'm scared for my health. I'm scared for my family. I'm scared that I'm going to be financially strained. It's probably going to be a real struggle. Can't even get the basics. And there's little or no support for me, for my family. We just have to ride it out. And I'm afraid about that. And what that means. All of this stress, all of this worry, all of this uncertainty and concern for my future and the future of my family. Everything is just so uncertain right now. It's causing so much stress. Sometimes I even panic when I think about what could go wrong. And sometimes I think I should panic more. This uncertain future. We're forced into choices. Choices that I don't want to make. All of this pressure, this isolated feeling even caged in when I think about this global situation. All of these new rules, all of these curfews. The world is shutting down. And that terrifies me. Because I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm scared I'm not going to survive this. I'm scared for my family. All this worry. All this fear of the unknown. Okay, so now I want you to just take a nice deep breath and just let it all go. Shake it out. And now I want you to just try to tune in to the situation at hand and just notice what you feel now. And remember that we chose to rate the level of intensity that we were feeling out of 10 before. To just notice whether it's dropped off a little bit. So it might have gone down to like a 2 out of 10 or something like that. Notice whether it's increased some, because if it has increased, then that just means that you have some more tapping to do while you're focusing on those important points that started to really trigger you. So I recommend that you do a few more rounds of what it is that is your truth right now in your body and in your thoughts. So if you still feel afraid, or if you still feel that you're alone in this or isolated some way, or that you're scared for your family, I suggest you do a few more tapping rounds on that as well. So once you feel like you have neutralized and relaxed a little bit into the what's been going on for you that's been fearful or stressful, what we can do now is we can start to tap in some different ideas and scenarios that are just going to support the level of focus that we want to start to achieve now, and how we want to feel about things, even though the situation is still going on. So I'm going to take you through just a bit more tapping now around again, assuming that all of that perceived negative feelings have really dropped down in their intensity, because you want to make sure that you do that part before you go on to this next part. So pause the video if you have to and keep tapping, and just following those basic points that I was tapping on, and then press play again, and you can join in with the more positive intention tapping that we're going to go through now. Okay, so nice deep breath, coming back into your body and just recognizing how you're feeling, thinking about the situation at hand, and just begin tapping on the side of your hand again, and we're going to set this up. So even though there's been a lot of uncertainty going on in my life right now, in all of our lives, and parts of me have been afraid, and parts of me have felt stressed, and sometimes I've felt okay, but then it can hit me again. I choose to give myself permission to acknowledge how I'm feeling, and to focus on creating an even better world. Even though there's parts of me that have been terrified. When I think about all that's happening in the world right now, when I think about all the limitations, all the things that have worried me, and I was feeling really stressed, I choose to acknowledge those feelings, and I choose to focus on the possibilities from now on. Even though I was feeling really stressed about the global situation right now, and what that means for me and my family, and what that means for all of us as a collective, I choose to focus on the opportunities that this potential disaster could invoke in our world. And I relax as best I can in knowing that I have choice in that now. Okay, so we're going to go to the eyebrow point. I have seen the worst of humanity during this time. I have felt the fear, the overwhelming fear of uncertainty. And I have felt the stress. And even though I've recognized the worst of humanity is out there, I've also had moments where I've acknowledged the best of humanity come through. I've seen some selfish acts, but I've also seen lots of kindness. Fearing the things that I can't control sometimes, but I know that I can control how I react to to what's going on. Because no one can take my thoughts away. Because they're my thoughts, and mine only. So I'm open to other possible ideas now on how I can think and feel in better ways that feel good to me. Giving myself permission to feel a sense of peace, a sense of serenity in the eye of the storm, despite not knowing what's going to happen. I give myself permission to be open, while still feeling safe and being aware. I'm open to the ideas on how I can thrive through this, and not just survive, so that I can be there for myself and others. I choose to focus on what works well. The potential possibility of the lessons I'll gain from going through all of this. The opportunity to find my deepest strength and to be an example for my family and others. I choose peace in knowing that. I choose a calmness about trusting what will come out the other side of this. A better and more conscious world. A more evolved world. All of the unknown can be a good thing, because we don't know what's behind that door. So we can't contaminate it with all the BS of the past. And that's a good thing, because we can choose to create what we want. And it all begins with my response. To feel inspired to act differently. We can choose what we want to see behind that door. So I give myself permission to get through this the best that I can. Trusting my body. Trusting my heart. Trusting the community that supports me and my family. I choose peace now. I choose love. I choose courage. I choose faith. I choose love. I choose connection. I choose to appreciate all that I am and my ability to respond. Responding with strength. And I choose to focus on the potential excitement of the possibilities behind that door. So just taking a nice deep breath now and shaking it all out. Okay, now just tuning right back in and just notice what you feel in your body now, what you feel around you. Notice the space. Notice the clarity in your mind. And notice how your thoughts have shifted somewhat, how your body feels and how that may have shifted. And just allow yourself now to daydream a little and focus on the things that you would love to see more of in the world. And if you'd like to continue into a meditation of that, then feel free to continue. And in the meantime, if you do need any support, do reach out. And I am trusting that you got a lot of value from this. So if you wanted to share it with anybody else that you think might have some value taken from that experience, then feel free to share this along. Paying it forward and increasing the compassion and the kindness that we have in this world for each other. So you never know who you might influence in a massive way, and so all of our little inspired acts can contribute to things that we never are going to know the outcome of, and that's sometimes a beautiful thing. So if you do have an inclination to share, please do. And please join me over at The Joy Heart on my Facebook and my Instagram account, or on my website. You can sign up for the newsletters that I produce as well, just to stay connected in a community. And there's a bit more information on there with what I do and where I come from and how The Joy Heart has evolved. So in the meantime, please comment. What was your experience like down below? Comment what you started with out of 10 as a rating of your stress levels, and then what was the end product of that, and how you're feeling after doing some of that positive tapping in. And I will, be always here and available to speak to and be in touch with possibly some more of these videos to help you through and to acknowledge that it's okay to be human in all of this, and it's okay to go through the feels. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and above all, just trust in the knowing that you have the strength and we've got this no matter what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and how you're reacting. So take that forward with you and go and plant some seeds of joy in other people's lives. Big love to all of you, and I will see you all really soon. Thank you for your time and energy.